Hey everybody, it's Lemuria Kamara. Thanks for checking out my video. I'm just here in my kitchen today making myself a salad, and I just thought about something that I really want to share with you. And so the US Pluto Return is coming up. And I thought about this because I've been hearing all of this news about the conflict between the United States and Russia, with Ukraine in the middle, and what that signifies. What's the symbolism of that? What does that mean for all of us? This comes at a really crucial, important, and transformational time. I guess I would classify it as, categorize it as, because tomorrow is the 20th of February, 2022. That number is called a palindrome. And a palindrome is a sacred geometric number that you can read the same way backwards as you read forwards. So the last time we had one was on December 2nd, 2021. So this sacred geometric formation, I guess you would say 2/20/2022, has everything to do with the number 2, clearly. And the number 2 represents harmony, equality, right? Balance. And these are the major energetic themes that are important for us in 2022. And this period kicks that off. And as this period kicks that off, what do we see in opposition of harmony and equality and, peace and balance? We see, the threat of conflict, yet another war brewing on the horizon, right? So this is the time to really check in and really check out what the energies are trying to tell us. So what we know right now is that tomorrow, 2/20/2022, is the US Pluto return. And what that means is that Pluto is in Aquarius, and it is in the exact same position as it was on July 4th, 1776. So this is 246 to 250 years that it takes Pluto to go around the sun one time. So 1 year on Pluto is a really long journey in terms of Earth years. And so Pluto is a really slow moving planet. But what Pluto does is that it ushers in new energy for the better. Not just new just because it's innovative and, it's different, but new because it's better, because it is enlightening and enlightenment energy. It's awakening energy. So Pluto comes in and it clears the way for the new. And it does this by deconstructing, demolishing, collapsing, destroying, and it brings about a kind of death. Pluto does represent death so that a new birth can take place. So in this case, death does not always mean, the death of our physical bodies, death, the end of this life on earth as, an end all. But we have to remind ourselves that death is happening all the time because it's part of the cycle of life. And so we have experienced death in many, many different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that we have lost somebody that we love, that's near and dear to us, who has gone through the door of death. But we have all gone through the door of death in one way or another. Things that no longer serve us are gone. We can all look back on times when we were living a completely different kind of life, and that is gone. That has passed. That has passed on, right? And that's what we say when people have died, that they have passed on. And also life events and circumstances and conditions and people in our lives, relationships, those things have passed on. Difficulties that we've had, challenges that we've had have passed on. And some things are still here. So Pluto comes along and it forces everything that needs to be seen and cleared. It pushes all of that up to the surface because we can't see what's hiding in the shadow. We need for it to be pushed into the light. I'm a skincare therapist, master esthetician. I've been working on really serious skin conditions. I've treated stage 4 acne for much of my career very, very successfully. And acne is like all other skin conditions. It's things that are happening inside the body. When the body is out of balance, it will push those toxins up to the surface of the skin. So when your skin is breaking out, we have a tendency to always treat the skin, but we have to treat the body. We have to treat what's going on. Why is this happening? What is all of this toxicity coming up from the surface to the surface of my skin from within my body? That's where it's coming from. It's coming from within the body. So we have to address our health holistically, and health has been spotlighted on the cosmic, the global playing field. Health has been spotlighted in a huge way the last couple of years in this country and all over the world. So Pluto is the planet of the underworld. It rules the underworld and everything that is hiding in the shadows, in secrecy, deceptions, things that are lies and manipulation, backdoor deals, closed door deals, where everybody's left out and a few know. All of that is hiding in the shadows. That's all shadow work. But we also have our own shadow work, right? There's the shadow work that's operating on the world stage with our governments, with corporations, that is manipulating and controlling through the systems that we have in place, whether it's the political, economic, healthcare system, whatever the educational system, whatever those systems are, they're all operating in secrecy in a lot of ways because most of us don't really know what's going on. We don't really know what the plans are for these systems. So they're all being orchestrated in secret by a few people, who are controlling the masses, essentially. So we have to look at the number 2. We go back to the number 2 because the number 2 also represents the mirror, right? You have 2, and the 2 are alike. They have an affinity for each other, positive and negative, right? Positive and negative. There's something that's being reflected. And so if you want to see what it is that needs to change in your life, you look at what's being reflected. I think the greatest representation, not even a representation, the greatest reality of this is the inner and the outer. So when we look at the outer world and we see all of the crazy stuff going on, whether it's going on in our lives or whether it's going on in the world around us, it is a reflection of our consciousness, whether it's individual consciousness or whether it's collective consciousness. When it's happening, when we are seeing things happening, manifesting in our individual lives that we are not happy with, that are not in our favor seemingly, or not serving us, then those are aspects of Pluto, or those are energies that are showing us. Those are reflections, I should say. This is what I'm trying to use, this mirror analogy. It's a mirror reflection of what we need to see, that is showing up because we have something going on in our belief system, in our vibration, in how we look at the world, how we act in the world, what our imprints are, what our patterns are. We have something going on in our consciousness, in our personality, in our ego, that is not in alignment with the truth of who we are. It is not in alignment with our higher self, with spirit, with our God self, however you want to put it. So Pluto pushes everything to the surface for us to see. So what's being spotlighted by Pluto and by the cosmos these days is health. Wherever our health is out of balance, we may start really seeing things show up in a big way. So if we have been ignoring certain things about our health, if we're overweight and we're not paying attention to what we're eating, we're not getting enough exercise, we're not getting enough time in nature, then we might start seeing some stuff manifest because we got to get in balance. And that's what this whole period is all about. I gave a talk on Facebook. I did a Facebook Live about how Mars and Venus are traveling together. They are conjunct. This is very rare. Divine feminine and divine masculine moving together for a little more than 30 days in Capricorn. They move out of Capricorn and they move into Aquarius together. This is very rare, but it's such strong symbology. It's such a strong message to all of us, because the divine feminine is that nurturing, heart-centered energy. Where's your love for self, right? We can't love anybody and not have love for ourselves. It is impossible. It cannot possibly work. If we do not love self, then we don't have love to share with anyone. And then it can manifest as concern and fear and worry. And it can be nurturing. It can be very, very nurturing, like parents who raise their children but don't have a strong sense of worth. Maybe there's some self-worth issues going on, a lot of insecurity. They don't feel like they're deserving. They think that their children are more important than they themselves are. And so there's that nurturing, motherly kind of love, but it is out of balance because it is centered and focused outside of herself. And so what it manifests as is overly concerned, overly worried, and it becomes very stressful and full of anxiety and fear-based. You become very afraid of what's going to happen if your child is there and you're not. How can you set your child free into the world to live their own life? So it becomes very, very overprotective. So we have to pay attention to what is coming up around our own spotlight, around our own heart-centered relationship with ourselves. Where is the love? Are we expanding that and coming more into balance and more into wholeness with our love so that we have a real love that we can share in the world? That is our gift. And we express it through our talents, our artistry, our intelligence, through our personality. But it's coming from this higher self, the self that is the true self. The personality is part of the self with the capital S. The ego, the personality, is the small s, self. But when I say self, I'm talking about the higher self, the God self, the divine being that we are, the individualized expression of God. I'm talking about that self, the only self. And so as we start to wake up and get in touch with that on a heart-centered way, not through our head, because we cannot figure this out. It is not a mental kind of exercise, but it's experiential. It's like when we go into meditation, it's experiential. and we enter in through our heart, so that we can experience the love of God that we are, and then we can share it in the world. That is what we came here to do. That is what we came here to discover, how to do that in our individual expressions, to experience what that is, and to radiate that love. So that's our job right now. That is our job always. If we don't do anything else, that's all we need to do, and life will take care of us. Life will take care of us, because life goes on without us. Life doesn't need us to make sure things happen. I mean, just think about the body. The body doesn't need us to make things happen. Body doesn't need us to beat the heart and for the heart to beat, and for all of the cells of the body to perform all of the mind-blowing functions that they perform for this divine vessel of light to sustain consciousness. But we do have the power to impact the body. We can create change in the body, and it can be harmonious change, or we can create destruction and problems in the body based on our belief system and our behavior. So this is where Pluto comes along. It is forcing us to look at where we are out of balance and where we are not growing into love. So let's move into our heart center and start to get in harmony with the energies that are supporting our spiritual growth. What else do I want to say about this? So Pluto is, as I said, clearing the way for the golden age of Aquarius, for higher love, for the kind of world that we all have, most of us have wanted to usher in, for the reason why we are here in the first place, is to usher in the golden age. So what I want you all to realize is that we may see a lot of things playing out on the global stage, but stay focused and centered on your inner work. Don't get distracted by it, because you can unintentionally contribute to that out of balance energy by getting pulled into the drama. And you don't want to contribute that, because that's how all of that gains power and momentum, by pulling everybody's consciousness into the drama. So if you withdraw your attention from the drama and bring your attention into the only place where you can affect change, the only place that is stable and solid and eternal and can be unaffected by all of this realm that we call the realm of illusion, because it's changing. It always changes. It always will change. That is the one thing about the 3D realm that we know, is that it is the realm of flux and change. Everything will change. Nothing stays the same. I know a lot of people think that certain things will never change. It's impossible. Everything will change. This country, this empire will come, and it has come, and one day it will go. And none of us know when that is, but what will replace it will be something much more glorious. So if it means that everything has to be broken down and demolished in order for something new to come in our place, then let's support that. And the only way that we can support that is being in our own center, because this is cosmic energy. It is so beyond us. We have no control over any of this, right? This is not our decision, but we can, by virtue of being in a place of fear, we can contribute a lot of energy to all of this energy that's out of balance, this conflict energy, this fear-based energy. And so this is where powerlessness lies. Pluto is all about power. It's about empowerment. The only way that you and I can be in our power is by going inside and cultivating and tapping into the only power source that there really is. You know, the God within, the divine within, the absolute source, whatever you want to call that intelligence, that divine energy, that is the only stability that there is. And that is the only real thing that there is. Everything else will come and go. So that being said, whatever happens in the outer world, remember to stay in your own center and clear out whatever comes up. If a lot of fear starts coming up, you notice that, what's going on the global stage is triggering a lot of fear, then that is the stuff that you are supposed to work with. You need to clear out that fear. You need to clear it out. And if you don't know how to clear it out, then just sit and breathe and connect with your inner self. Now I'm giving a workshop called Higher Love. It will be held on the 27th of February, a week from now. And I'm going to put a link in the description where you can go on Eventbrite and you can register for this workshop. And in this workshop, I'm going to go into some tools and some methods and some exercises that anybody can do that can instantly transform lower base energies into higher energies. You can learn how to become your own alchemist, because that's what you are. You are an alchemist. You know, even if you don't think that you know how to change anything that's going on in your life. You can change any kind of problems or disharmony or difficulties in your life. You can change it all into joy and fulfillment. You can change it into something that is strong and stable in your life. You can change it into what you want. You can change what you don't want into what you do want. And if you don't know what you want, you will discover it as you start to do the inner inquiry and you start to tap in and you just listen. You silence the mind and listen to your higher guidance, because it will always show you the way. It will always show you the way. But you have to want that for yourself. So if you want to discover how to start on that path, or if you've been working on that path and you would like some additional support and you want to learn maybe some new exercises and kriyas and yogic work, join me on February 27th. And I will see you in the workshop. Until then, peace and love, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of this video, you feel, that you love this, you appreciate this, and you know somebody who can benefit from this, please be sure and like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel. And that's it. I'll see you on my next video, and I'll see you in the workshop. Peace and love.